Hello and well met, folks. This is Layron with the Fantasy Grounds Academy. Today I'm going to be working on a bard for the new 2024 5e rule set. So this is going to be a level 4 bard, College of Valor, and it's going to be human build, and we're going to take a look and see how this unfolds. So if you haven't used a character wizard in a while, since the version 4.5.10, it's been pretty well updated. Moon Wizard had worked really hard for the last couple weeks, at least 3 weeks, getting all the different things updated or any bugs squashed. So it looks pretty good. And I noticed that he added this instruction set, which is nice. So if you're new to Fantasy Grounds, it kind of goes through some of the process of building a character. And also at the end of the video, I've linked the actual official wiki guide for character creation, so that should help if this doesn't help you. And also just to know that I have the 5e rule set loaded, just the new rule set. I'm not using any legacy content. And the Fantasy Grounds 5e rule set actually features both, so you can do either or one or the other. So they have it set up to where you can switch between legacy or 2024, which gives you an option to use both. So it's pretty neat. I think they handled it pretty well. There's a lot of changes to the character facing content. So without further ado, first thing we're going to do is pick a class. You can click on the links next to this little plus button, which will give you a description and an overview of the class. So for instance, we're going to do the bard, so I can click on this link here. And what I'm going to end up doing is taking this link and drag and drop it down to a hotbar below, so that when I'm using the character wizard and I need to look up something, I don't have to dig through the sidebar there. So I'm going to take the top left record link and drag and drop it into the toolbar, and then you can review the different things that you're going to get. So we're going to go all the way up to 4th level, and looks like the bardic die is a d6 all the way up till 4th level, and then here are the different things that get added as you level up. So we'll go over that soon, but I just wanted you to be aware that it's helpful to have the class linked to your hotkeys below while you're building characters. It's a lot easier to reference and easier to pull that up when you need it. So we went ahead and we're going to pick the bard. So we're going to click on this green plus button. So right there. And now it's going to present us with choices. So we get 3 skills and we get 3 instruments. So right off the get-go, it depends on the background that I'm going to pick. So honestly, if I go on the backgrounds, I'm going to look at that because those are kind of forced on you, or you don't really have a lot of the same choices. So I'm going to take a look at what I'm going to get from one of these other backgrounds. So probably the Wayfarer. So if I click on that, it's going to give me ability score adjustment. So I know that past builds I like to do charisma for +2, and then for dexterity for +1 on that. And then you get to basically get, let's see, the skills. You get insight and stealth. So those are 2 I don't want to pick for my class abilities. So I'm going to go ahead and do acrobatics, and let's go with, let's see, this is going to be a bard of valor. So I want to do intimidation because I think that's an important skill to have if you're not going to be that tough, but you still have kind of a martial flair to you. So I think that's a valuable skill. And then I think we're going to do stealth. So that should be, or actually performance. And now we get tool proficiencies here. So let's go with, these are instruments, by the way. So we'll do a flute. We will do, let's see, they got a mandolin, or we'll do a drum and a lute. So those are the 3 main instruments that he's proficient with, or she, depends on what you want to do. And now we're going to switch over to spells. So we get a couple cantrips, and we can prepare up to 4 spells. So I'm just going to pick some now. So on the cantrips angle here, I think I want to do prestidigitation. I think that's interesting for performance and enhancing what you're trying to what the story you're trying to tell. And then I like Vicious Mockery. I always thought that was a really cool ability for bards. So I like that spell. So those are 2 of those. And then if you switch over to level 1, now you can pick, at least 4 of these. So probably Fairy Fire, since he's going to be a little bit more combat oriented. Let's go with we'll do Healing Word just in case. And then let's go with Thunder Wave and then 1 other. Something a little bit more utility. So we have some utility, some offense. Maybe Disguise Self, Color Spray, Charm Person. I'll go Charm Person. That's always a useful spell in tight situations. So those are spells that he has for now. And when we go through the levels, we'll be able to pick more. So next, we already did the background. And the reason I did that is so I can see what we're getting. So we got Thieves' Tools, we got the Lucky Feat, and then we got these ability score increases, and I chose Charisma and Dex. So that now we can go on a species. So this is where you get your different species, or AKA race. So I'm going to click on Human. And then I'm going to select size. It's going to be medium, because you can change your size now. You can be, kind of small. And then I'm going to do Sign Language and Elvish is probably the 2 extra languages. And then I get to pick 1 extra feat through this. So I could pick Tough or maybe Musician, but let's see what that does. So Musician gives you 3 musical instruments of your choice. I already have 3. I don't think I need that. But it has Encouraging Song, so you can play that, and it kind of gives you a bonus. Yeah, I don't think I want Musician. He's already kind of that. Skilled is another one, so you can get more skill. So I'll take that one instead. This is what they recommend anyways, but you gain proficiency in any combination of 3 skills or tools of your choice. That might be something, or Alert is even a nice one. Yeah, I want to do Alert. You get an initiative bonus on that. So that's basically the 2 feats that I picked. And then for your Skillful, you gain 1 proficiency of your choice. So I think I'm going to do Perception on that. And that's pretty much it. So now for the ability. So in this case, you can choose from 3 different types of ability score increases. Are ways to generate. You can roll, you can do point buy or standard array. Just for the sake of time, I'm going to do standard array. And I'm just going to drag and drop these base amounts where I want them to go. So strength is going to be my weakest point. I'm going to move this dexterity over to the charisma part. And then between these 3, there we go. So this is the final score, including my background adjustments. So we got 8, 16, 12, 13, 10, and 16. So that's a pretty good mix of numbers there. And that's all the adjustments are down here from the background. So you don't get bonuses from race anymore or your species. It comes from your background. So now I'm going to go to equipment. And this is the background kit. So I found that you don't get a whole lot of weapons with the choice of the class kit, but I'm going to go ahead and pick that. You get leather armor, you get 2 daggers, an instrument, an entertainer's pack, and then you get some gold. So I'll just go ahead and click that for that. Now I could do this choice too. Yeah, I think I will. I'll grab the extra gear, but you could go for the gold if you wanted to. So I'll just go ahead and grab that extra gear. So there's some starting gold, some money, and then your gear that you get when you first start off. So once you get to that point, and we come over to commit, it tells you to complete your character, you take the following steps. You review warnings if there are any here, like if you forgot something. You enter your character's name, review the changes to make sure everything looks right, and then you click save to finalize the record. So this is the time you want to go back and make adjustments and fixes, not after you save it. So I want to go ahead and this guy's name is Canifar Odniden. And interesting enough, when I made character names, I used household products to help me inspire me to make names for characters, and then spelled them backward. So this Oneiden was a brand. I think it was like some sort of either a razor, a shaver, or something like that, or some kind of I think Oneiden was maybe it was kitchen stuff, but that's where I got the name. I like the name. Canifar was a name that we called this bard at one point. We called him cannon fodder because he was basically always in the way, and we always sent him out in the beginning to draw enemies. So that's kind of where his name. So we called him Canifar Oneiden. But anyway, so this is I'm going to hit save, and that should pop up. And now this is the actual character record it's written to the database. So at this point, if you see any mistakes, you're going to have to fix it manually. And it's almost best just to start over if you're not familiar with that process, because there's a little bit of messing around you have to do. It's fixable, but you just kind of have to have someone help you with that if you're not used to the rule set. So that's basically the first level. We're going to level up to level 2. So I'm going to go to this little gear cog next to the proficiency bonus, and you'll get this little pop-up window. I'm going to go ahead and click level up, and that'll bring the character wizard back. So here's the character wizard again, and I'm going to hit level up here. And you get a couple skills that you can be expertise in. So I'm going to go with performance and probably stealth or acrobatics. I'll do stealth. That's usually pretty useful. You get the jack of all trades trait, and then you get to add another spell. So I'm going to go to level 1 spell, and I think I'm going to do sleep. This is a pretty good spell. And once you're done with that, once you're done with your selections, you can go ahead and hit commit again. And again, you want to look over your changes if necessary, and then hit save. So this process is, you'll go through this each time you level up. You just want to make sure that the books are open that you made your character out of, so your GM will have to share those with you, and make sure that those are available when you go to level up or create characters. Now I'm going to take and go back to the level up window again, and again click level up again, and this is going to bring up the character wizard. And here I'm going to click on the level up button again. And after you get past like 3rd level, it gets a little bit easier. But this is the big level here where you get your college. So we're going to pick the College of Valor. And you get combat inspiration from that subdomain or class. And you get some martial training, which gives you proficiency with medium shields or medium armor and shields, and you get martial weapons. In addition, you can use simple or martial weapons as spellcasting focus for your spells, which I think is pretty cool. So then I'm going to come over to spells. I get one more spell to add. So this will be a 2nd level spell this time. So I think I'm going to go with probably hold person. Yeah, that's usually pretty useful. I like heat metal, but that's pretty sinister. Lesser restoration's kind of helpful, but I'll just do hold person. Okay, and then go to commit, take a look at everything, and then hit save. So now we're at 3rd level. I'm going to go up to 4th and kind of go through that process, and then we'll do a little bit of customization and we'll call it good. So I'll go ahead and click on this link here, and here's the Bard, level 3. Go ahead and click on level up, and here we go. So this is the next level that we're going to be leveling up with. So I'm going to click the level up button again, and you get ability score improvement, or you can get a feat. I'm going to pick the ability score increase. I think that's more important usually overall than a feat. And then we're going to go with 2 plus 1s. And I'm going to increase charisma and probably intelligence, because a lot of the abilities need intelligence. and you get a cantrip. So you learn another cantrip of your choice from the bard list. So we'll have to take a look at that. So we get another cantrip. So I'll click on cantrips here. And I think I'm going to do Mage Hand. And then we get another spell, I believe. Yeah, we get one more spell. So I'll look at another number 2, a level 2 spell. And let's go with, I like Mirror Image. Or Silence, actually, is a good one. Okay, so we got Silence now, so we can silence spellcasters if needed. And then once you're done with that, we're going to go ahead and hit Commit and Save. So if you're happy with all your changes, go ahead and hit Save. So this is the full, we're all the way up to 4th level. And the last step here is to add your portraits and such. So that might be something you do at 1st level, but I've already kind of went through and picked my own assets. So if you have the time and your GM knows what's going on, they can actually make you a like a 3D token. And then I have a portrait that matches that I made ahead of time, because I didn't want to go through that during the stream here. So here's the portrait image, and that becomes your token, or you can also assign it a token. So I have a round token that I made for this. So those are all the artwork for this particular character. And it's a lot easier to do this from assets than through the character sheet if you're the GM. Players don't really have this option, but if you're a game master and you're making a bunch of pre-gens, it's a lot easier to go that way than trying to do it through each one of these windows. All right, so let's take a look real quick at what we got here. So I need to add a couple of the tools. So I'm going to add a couple of these custom ones. I want to make sure we're proficient with it. And what we're going to add is musical instrument. So instead of adding each and every instrument, I'm just going to put musical instrument, and then I'll base it off of charisma. And that way, if you ever have to perform or anything, you can use that. And then we got thieves tools, I believe. So I don't know if we're necessarily, yeah, I think we are proficient with that. I have to look, but that's going to be dexterity based. There we go. So I want to take a look at the abilities here. So alert and lucky are already kind of built in. And for bardic inspiration on this back sheet here, you get 3 of them, or 2 of them, depending on what you're. So you get, this one's, it's based off of charisma modifier. So I think I have a +2 or +3. Yeah, I have a +3 charisma modifier. So when you want to change your usages, you go to preparation mode, and I'm going to change the bardic inspiration to 3 because it was defaulted at 1. And then what you can do is, we have 2 daggers, so I can update that. And then you can look this over, and it looks like a lot of the automation is already added now. So it won't be as much of that, the good old days where you had to add all that stuff yourself. They're starting to add that into the rule set more and more. So there might be a couple things missing here and there, but generally speaking, most of that stuff's dealt with. Jack of all trades, it gives you your half your proficiency bonus rounded down to any ability check that you make. So we'll take care of that. And then you also get, if you make a strength check or lack athletics, you can add half your proficiency bonus. Yeah, so that all that is going in to your skills and just clicking on these until you see the half bonus on all the ones that you're not proficient with. So it's kind of a bummer, but it's the way that you adjust these. So I think I clicked on it like 4 times. No, 3 times. But that's kind of a nice perk because you're kind of somewhat proficient with just about everything. It's definitely a skill hound here. So you got proficiency and a little bit of proficiency at least in almost everything. So that's pretty nice little perk there. So I changed all those. So now these are all positive numbers except for my strength. If I ever have to do athletics, it's just going to be an average roll. And then we want to take a look at, so we already got the cantrip And what did I choose? I think I chose Mage Hand. So I usually put a note here. It's not necessary, but I do that just so my GM knows what I chose. Spellcasting, martial training. So martial training gave us extra proficiencies with different types of weapon and armor, and that was already added here, which is nice. That wasn't something that the previous rule set had done. It just gave you the initial ones, and you had to manually add the others. And here are the languages. So common, we have common sign language and Elvish. And let's see, versatile, we've already picked that. So I think I chose perception on that one. Skillful gave you 3. I don't remember what 3 they were. Resourceful, you gain heroic inspiration whenever you finish a long rest. So there we go. So that is basically the build. And it looks pretty, I mean, this is, other than equipment, I don't see whether much more would have to be added. So in this case, you'd have to work with your GM on that and say, okay, I want to get some more stuff. So this is not a bad start here. I think I want to give him a rapier, though, and a couple other things. So he already has a pouch, which is good. And here's the thieves' tools. So the musical instrument, I'm going to actually delete that entry, and I'm going to actually add one to it, the lute probably. So let's go to items. And as the GM, you can either allow your players to do it, or you can do that. Depends on what you want to do. So loot, I'm going to drag and drop that on here. I'm going to upgrade his armor a little bit. So he's got leather armor. So what I'm going to do with that is give him studded leather, which will just increase it by 1, but that's a nice little bump there without being too cumbersome. And then he gets to, let's see, he already has the loot, right? Yeah. Oh, I want to give him 1 potion of healing. So if I do that, drag that on there. And then I'm going to probably, let's see, he's got a gaming set. He's got this. Yeah, I think he's pretty good. We'll just give him that rapier. I'll just give him a magic rapier just for the heck of it. Be a +1, kind of like a finely crafted rapier. So there's no magic items yet because we don't have the DM's guide, but you could make it. But I'll just give him a regular one for now. So now that you have all that, you can organize the inventory by container if you want. So right here where it says pouch, I might actually put the potion in the pouch, and then anything small like the tinderbox probably go in the pouch. This actually went to healing potion. It's wrong. So there's pouch there. And then a lot of the stuff will just go in the backpack. Thieves' tools, will definitely put that in the pouch. It's kind of up front with him. It's got 2 bedrolls. I don't think I need that, so I'll just get rid of 1, and maybe we sold it or something. And this little bell, we'll put that in the pouch. It's got 3 costumes. I think I only need 1. And then I'll put that in the background, in the backpack. There's that. Gaming set will go in the pouch. And even though it doesn't weigh much, I usually put 0.001 or some kind of placeholder for those type of items. I think everything should have some weight, even though it doesn't weigh much. It's the same thing with the bell. It's negligible, but, you know. Let's see. Studded armor, rapier. There's the loot. I'm going to say backpack, even though he probably just wears it on his back. And then the rest of the stuff. There we go. So now it's all kind of nested in containers. So he's got 2 daggers and a rapier. And then I might, down the road, I might ask to get him a hand crossbow or something like that. But that's basically the build. I mean, just kind of organizing it, going over your actions with your players, or, taking a look at it yourself. One of the things you want to do is go through all these features and your traits and double check your proficiencies while you're building your character. And it looks like the actions tab is all set and ready to go. So it looks like this player is ready. So when they're in that state, your GM can drag and drop it over here on the combat tracker. You can't see it, and it's a done deal. So that's the Bard. So that was a level 4 Valor, College of Valor Bard human. So that wasn't too bad. Wasn't too crazy. And we got all the spells right here. They're ready to go. And now when you're in actual gameplay mode, you want to make sure you're in combat mode down here at the bottom, and that's what it should look like. Something like that. And then you manually keep track of your spell slots, and then you manually keep track of how many bardic inspirations you use. And then you have your lucky points that you can track. And I think this alert thing is kind of automatic because it already added proficiency to the initiative roll. So if you come up to the main tab and look at this little gear cog next to the shield, it's already added initiative proficiency to this area. So that's right. Okay, so that's it, folks. You guys have a good rest of your week. Happy Halloween, and I'll see you around next time. Bye-bye.